Hi, I am Levi Johnny Griffin, and this is my beautiful wife and co-host.
Portia Griffin.
And we are here with a very interesting episode with Miss Cheryl Adams. First, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I count it a joy and a privilege to be here.
Well, awesome. We're excited to have you. If you notice that we always have like senior pastors on or as kind of the thought leaders and the leaders of our community, we brought Miss Adams on because I just met her and she grabbed my attention in such a powerful way. She is so authentic. She is so her. She is about emotional, spiritual, and physical health. If you can't tell, she's in shape, and she's going to talk to you about just your health, but not just physically, also spiritually. She came in with who called her his prayer warrior, one of his best friends, and it was her ex-husband. Normally you see exes and they hate each other, they're fighting, and he was like, man, this is my best friend, this is my prayer warrior. And that just shows an anointing that she carries, a power that she carries. There's something different about her. We spoke in my office for a good while about a variety of topics. Cheryl, I just want you to just kind of tell the people that don't know who you are, give them a little bio about who you are, your walk with God, how you got into food. Give them kind of a little, elevator speech about who you are.
All right. My testimony now, that's one thing that I advocate throughout the city, is my testimony is really how God got me really back focused into health. I'm a mother of 8 wonderful children, 4 that I birthed myself and 4 marital children. So I was blessed with that. I always had a passion for fitness. As a matter of fact, I desired to be a PE teacher. Mm-hmm. But growing up, the counselors, they condition our children to follow financial gain versus their dream. That's a whole other subject, so we're not going to go that direction instead of following their dream. So I didn't follow. I did go to college and get my degree in kinesiology.
And kinesiology, for those, including me, that don't know what that is.
That's physical, fancy name for physical education.
Kinesiology. Learn something.
They changed the name while I was in college from physical education to kinesiology, certified in fitness and nutrition. And that was just something I was always interested in. When I was that person, Portia, that you would go to dinner with, it was irritating because I would look at your plate and say, are you gonna put all that dressing on there? You know, you can save calories if you stick your fork in there. You know, you're gonna eat that white bread. You know, that wheat bread might be a little bit better for you. So I consider myself somewhat healthy, taking my vitamins, exercising, teaching aerobics and doing everything that I believed I was doing right. But then in 2015, I was diagnosed with what men call cancer. And my family looked at me like, okay, you're the healthy one of the family. What's going on with you? And that's when I began to question at myself, because I'm looking at, the way I was eating, the things that I was doing compared to some of the other people in my family and my friends. And I'm like, okay, how did this thing attach to me? This thing called cancer. So that was one of the things that really caused me to really begin to seek it. And then through the process, I was able to go deeper into the Word of God and find out what we're doing different, the deceptions that came to us through the enemy. And it's so many things. I don't know how far you want me to go, because I could talk about it for hours. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much what got me back. Because I was a realtor for a few years. I was in customer service, did all the things that would monetarily sustain me and my family. But my passion, my dream, my gift, a lot of times we don't live that out. And it has always been health and wellness. Through the process that I went through with cancer, a ministry was birthed called A Finished Work Wellness Ministry.
So are you still, just to pause, you still battling with cancer now?
No, I am cancer-free.
Praise God. Wow.
return to this body again. I don't
Amen.
speak remission because I believe that when God healed me from this thing, He's not a just in case God. So
Mhm.
it's not, don't take this just in case it come back. When it went, it's gone and it's not coming back again.
Amen.
And so that's what I believe. And those are some of the things that we talk about in some of our workshops and our symposiums.
Mhm.
Is just speak positive, think positive. Don't begin to claim those things for our bodies that are not, because life and death are in the power of the tongue.
Mhm.
So those are some of the directions to do that.
So I want to hop into the workshops, but before we hop into the workshops, you said you felt like you were eating healthy, you were doing everything right, but then you got cancer and you began to evaluate kind of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Before cancer, tell me about before cancer, Cheryl,
Mm-hmm.
then after cancer, Cheryl, as far as look on health.
Like I said, before cancer, I was taking the multivitamins, synthetic. I was eating what I thought was healthy, but a lot of processed foods. I was eating what they called the other white meat. You remember they used to say that about the other white, going on these different fad diets to make sure I kept my weight and different things like that. So again, things that look right, things that look the right way. And they say there's a way that means things right by man, but to the end there's death. So I was thinking that I was doing the right thing, doing this. There was artificial flavors and artificial synthetics enriched, all those things. Even though I was eating healthy, the food itself really wasn't healthy. My portions were right, the things I was eating was right, but how they were made was wrong. When I went through, like I said, let me tell you one of the reasons why this pushed me to even put. I remember I was telling you, O'Shea, that I want people to understand that prevention is so much better than going through a cure. When I was going through this season of cancer, one thing I did, I prayed and I said, Lord, I know that you're God that can heal me instantly, that can take this thing, because I've seen tumors fall off people. I've seen people pray for. And so I said, I know this can happen to me. But I was wondering, I said, but nevertheless, Lord, if I have to go through this process, let it be for your glory. So as I went through the process of this thing called cancer, I was looking for God. I was looking for him. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to say that, it was peaches and cream and I was just a holy roller. I had some crying days. I had some struggling days. I had some I want to give up days. But I kept focused on, Lord, there's a reason that you're allowing this. Not that he gave me this, that he's allowing this. And I want it to be for your glory, to encourage someone and to glorify you. And I went through the process. And even when I think of today, it pushes me more to talk to people about their health, not just so much preventing cancer, but diabetes and all the things they can avoid suffering through. Because, Levi, I lost all my hair. My skin turned so dark black because those chemicals that man made to heal this tumor, this thing that was in my body, it was burning my skin from the inside out. It was trying to do what it was supposed to do. It was trying to shrink the cancer. It was trying to, but it was also destroying everything else. It was destroying other organs and other things. My fingernails turning black and peeling off. Now, I told you I was healthy. I was running 5K marathons before cancer. I was doing a little bit of bodybuilding before. And I got to the point because they were trying to cure this thing. And I was so weak, people had to help me stand up. I couldn't do a 5K run. I could barely walk down my hallway because my body became so fragile, became so weak. But I went through this for 6 months, these chemicals for 5 hours. This put chemotherapy, and I'm not speaking against it, but I found out that in order for them to bring that medication to the hospital, the doctors and nurses have to put on hazmat suits. So that's how dangerous, how poisonous it was. Now, when you I looked up the definition of going through this of cancer. In the Webster's Dictionary, the definition of cancer, it uses the word evil. It says it's an evil, malignant thing that spreads destructively. And so that can describe a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It's so much evil and destructive things that's destroying our diabetes. It's destroying our bodies. And Hosea said it best. I think it was Hosea. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. He said, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." And that's what I believe before cancer was happening to me. Here I was thinking that I was doing everything right. But see, the enemy, he don't have no new tricks. How did he deceive Eve? What she put in her mouth. What she put in her mouth. Now, can he entice us with things that we don't desire? Why do most kids not like vegetables? Because they're not pretty and they don't taste good. But when you look in Genesis, and y'all are studying Genesis, when you look in Genesis, I think it's the 3rd chapter, it says, Eve ate it because it was pleasing to her eyes and to her taste. So what is the enemy advertising for us? Foods that are pleasing to the eye. When you see these commercials with these big cheeseburgers and the cheese running out and soaking the buns and burgers and these big Dairy Queen, those entice our eye gates and then stimulate our mind to those things. But, so the desire for vegetables are not pleasing.
So, but you were eating healthy before.
What I believed was healthy.
What you believed was healthy. So what did you believe was healthy that really wasn't?
I was eating, like I said, I was eating white sugar. I was doing drinks that were had sweeteners, but
like saccharin.
Had saccharin.
Yeah, all
they
these
had
artificial
things
sweeteners.
like fructose and sucrose and corn syrup. You know, don't think about that.
It could be like, I like drinking the Lipton citrus tea, and it's green tea, so you hear, oh, green tea is good for you, and it tastes so refreshing, but you look at the sugar, it's still loaded with sugar.
Exactly.
So many, like, I'm a vegetarian, they know I'm just big on health. Like, I be like, wheat bread, and I don't like, I mean, I've used it because, you know, it's just everyday things, but even the healthy things, like the healthy drinks, you think, even the energy drinks, you know, they get you with electrolytes. Get your electrolytes. Yeah, I'm getting my electrolytes, but I'm also drinking a ton of sugar. So it's like you're still killing me at the same time that I'm receiving my electrolytes. So I completely get the, and then even the fruits, you know, some people will get frozen fruit over the fresh fruit. And the frozen fruit is loaded with sugar. And then if you get the fresh fruit is loaded with steroids and chemicals. The apples have wax on them. Like, it's just, if you go to a farmer's market and you see an apple, it is so small. And if you go to the store, them apples are giant.
And shiny.
Yes. I'm like, how is it this big? Because it naturally does not get that big. So like you think you're eating fruit and you think you're eating healthy, but you're just eating chemicals.
Well, nuts are a prime example of that, because there are certain nuts that only grow, or that are only in season once every 2 years, and they changed them so they'll be in season every year. So they can constantly produce these nuts. So
strawberries, they grow at a certain time, and they're always there. You always can get strawberries. You always can get blueberries. You always can get all these fruits that normally would not be growing at certain times of the year. How do they do?
So those are the things that I was finding out, and I began to read labels. I can remember at the grocery store with a friend of mine, and I was just going to buy honey, and they were like, "Why are you taking so long?" I said, "Because I have to get honey. I want something that's really honey." And it's like, and so I showed them. I said, "The one that I get, it was pure, 100% organic honey." I said, "Look at the label on the back of mine where it says ingredients."
Yep.
It said honey. I said, "Now let's look at this one." It said honey plus sucrose. If it says more than what it's supposed to be, and those are the things we don't look at. I was taking multivitamins. I was taking.
Hope you just ordered me some, baby.
Actually, just it's something that it's a Kind Life, My Kind or My Life. It's a vegan. I don't know. We about to try it out, but it's vegan, organic. I'm seeing a picture when it get here, but it's organic vegan tablets, and my parents have been taking it and they love it. So I ordered a women's and a men one off of Amazon, and we're about to try it and see how it works. But my parents, they seem to love it, so I'm like, let's try it out.
And see, those are the things we didn't do. Here I'm taking, I don't want to say the name, but multivitamins and all those things. But those are synthetics.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know anything about synthetics. What does that mean? Synthetic. It's like, okay, what it is we're going to go in a lab and we're going to take some chemicals and we're going to mimic what it's supposed to do in your body. And so those are things. Now, who does that sound like? Again, to try and be, take what God naturally created and alter it to mimic it to be like God's. So those were some of the things, the artificial flavors. It's not natural. It says that in itself, I'm taking something that was natural and I'm producing something that's artificial. And why? Because it's easier. We live in a microwave society. It's easy to go in there and buy the lemon extract than to go and buy a bag of lemons and squeeze it yourself. It's easy to go buy the processed concentrated orange juice that they concentrate is full of sugar than to go and squeeze your orange. It's, the society we live in, we live in a microwave society. So we don't take the time to cut up vegetables and blend drinks, and we just don't do those things that our great grandmothers and grandmothers used to do. We don't go to natural things where we thought, where my grandmother was kind of off, making us go out there and break a piece of aloe vera off the tree because we just scraped. Okay, give me some alcohol or something, and then go get some aloe vera, and it'll heal just as well. Things like that. So if we would go back to nature, when I was going through this chemo, they wanted me, after I went through all the surgeries and everything, to go back and do 8 more months of chemotherapy and radiation. At this point, I had met a natural doctor, and he was looking at how my body was deteriorating. He said, they want you to go 8 more months. I will be surprised if you make it 5. And so I had a decision to make, Portia. Do I continue to trust in what man does, or do I trust in God? And what impressed me with him, he took me to the Word. So that made it an easy decision. In Genesis 1:9, he said, for sure. In Genesis 1:9, he said, I give you every tree bearing fruit. I'm probably messing up. Every tree bearing seeds on the face of the earth, and every fruit that has seed in it. For what? As food. I said, what? He said, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains. Those are the things that our body knows how to process. Those are the things that our body knows how to take and heal itself, because we serve a God that's so wonderful that he designed these temples to be able to heal themselves, to be able to have systems in there to function. So, but he said, when you send something unnatural in that system, then it has to try to figure out what to do with it, how to process it. And that's where the diseases and things begin to come. Because our bodies, if you take something unnatural and put it into something natural, you're going to get an unnatural.
So you had cancer. The cancer wasn't gone, and they wanted 9 more months of chemo.
They said I was declared cancer free. I did have a mastectomy, had my breast removed, all the surgery. I'm thinking, yes, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
They said there was some lymph nodes under your arm that there may or may not have been a cancerous cell that got there. I'm not going to do this again. So I decided to go natural. I decided, no, I'm going to do this.
So what did the doctor the natural doctor instructions, what were they?
His instructions were to get rid of the acid. My body was very acidic. So I stopped eating red meat. I stopped eating pork. I stopped eating processed foods. I went in there and cleaned out my pantry, got rid of all the boxes of macaroni and cheese and this and all that, all the processed food. I stopped doing white sugar, white flour, white rice, anything white that wasn't natural, that was processed or enriched, and began to, that way, and began to try and eat more raw foods.
It's funny how they call it enriched when really it's just bleached. But they say it's
And
they say unbleached on.
Yeah.
Well,
but you see the deception in the word. See, when I see enriched, that sounds like a good word to me.
Yeah, like
I'm like, I'm
enriched
buying
with
this. This must be
nutrients.
better than this. You know what I'm saying? It's all
it's
renewing
marketing.
of our mind.
Yeah.
And marketing it, they you know, we're eye gates, ear gates, and it gives us a response.
So they you get rid of all of the processed food. You move in oats and grains and
Fruits and
brown
vegetables,
sugars.
brown rice, honey, agave. You know, I began to discover there's so many wonderful foods that you can
Okay,
eat
it's
using those different things. Yeah, agave is really sweet. Matter of fact, I just started growing my own stevia. I'm not gonna get in detail with that because I just started growing my own mint and stevia on my balcony. So I'm excited about that.
Now, how long ago was it from today that you started, that you cleaned out the mac and cheese and put in the grains and nuts? How many months or years? How long has
It's
that been?
been since August 2015.
August of 2015. Have you been back to the doctor for a cancer checkup?
I've been to my PC, primary care physician.
Okay.
And all my numbers are so, amazing. Oh, amazing. And that's, again, another thing. I go there so I can identify, anything else that the enemy's trying to bring to me. But and so I know how to to treat my body, because you don't self-medicate, but treat. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right.
Yeah,
And plus, I want to let them understand and know that 4 years later, I'm still, I'm still all right. Yes, my body is not the same. It's better than it was before.
Do you feel better?
I feel better. I feel stronger. I'm able to do a lot of things that most. I'm gonna say my age. Most 55-year-old folks can't do. I'm 54, but I'm about to be 55.
Well, happy birthday.
So yeah, there's so many things that we can do, and people, when they hear changing to an alternate lifestyle, and I say alternative lifestyle, but really the other stuff is the alternative. What we eat, the natural stuff, fruit and vegetable, that's actually the original. And they call
there was no McDonald's in 2000 BC, right?
Right. Those were the original, and it was like, well, you need meat for protein, and you need meat for this. I said, well, think about it. If I could take you back to the word every time you come with me, then I'm okay with the response, because Daniel didn't eat. He had. I'm imagining in my mind the king's table may have had, the pot roast and the pig and the mashed potatoes and all of that. And he said, no, give us some water and some vegetables. Now, if he needed that meat to be stronger, why did it say that Daniel and his boys were not only stronger, they looked better and they were wiser? Why? Because their bodies were cleansed, their bodies were clean. And that's another thing that I had to do. After I cleaned out all the processed foods and began to eat clean, I had to begin to detox all those chemicals out of my body. So I started doing the Master Lemon Cleanse. I know a lot of people probably heard of the Master Lemon Cleanse. I did that every day.
Never heard of the Master Lemon Cleanse.
Master Lemon Cleanse is just lemon. Lemon alkalines your body, and that's what I needed to do. I needed to get all that acid out of my body and get my body alkaline, because diseases cannot thrive in an alkaline body. And so I had to detox to flush all those synthetics, all those chemicals, all that acid out of my body. I began to take natural herbs instead of the medications that they gave to build my immune system. I found natural herbs like the echinacea, the golden seal, garlic, cinnamon, all the different herbs that would do the same thing that man created to mimic. So I went back to the ground. We came from the earth. So I went back to the earth and found out what would help strengthen my body. And so getting rid of the processed foods, getting rid of the meats and the acidic meats, getting rid of the process, and begin to cleanse the body, alkaline the body. I had neuropathy in my fingers so bad where I couldn't touch anything. I called the doctor. I was like, listen, they have me on this thing called gabapentin. I don't want to take this anymore. What can I do? I began to take apple cider vinegar and orange juice 3 times a day, all day, every day for about 90 days. The neuropathy. There was no signs. Since they don't always say I was cured, there were no signs.
Well, we'll say you were cured. So
in his body.
now, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, for my definitely, like I said, I've been trying to have us eat more healthy, but I also understand just the cost of it, the financial part of trying to be healthy.
She stole my question. I think she stole my question.
Okay, that's good. Because I think about, the men in my life, they like to eat, and I like to eat. So I normally get fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and that normally could last us making them lunch and dinner maybe a week and a half. And that's just with the 3 of us. And so I think, and that's probably at about $100 to $150 every time. And so I think about those families with kids, and sometimes I'm just in the kitchen, I'm like, Lord, how can they even make it? Like, I look at the price of hot dogs and hamburgers already made and these inexpensive junk food, chips and stuff, and the price is low, but the organic food is high, or the natural foods are a little more higher, and they don't last as long. The shelf life of a box of cereal is like 2-3 weeks compared to some fresh apples. You need to eat those apples. Like a lot of the vegetables, they will spoil if you don't use them. So I was saying all that, my question was, since you've been eating healthy, financially, how has it kind of affected you? Is it cheaper than when you were eating before? Is it more? Are you spending more? If you still have kids in the house, like how, basically to help another family out.
That was my question.
Yeah.
She took it.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, people saying, I can't afford to eat healthy. It costs too much to eat healthy. Well, you're comparing fruits and vegetables, yes, to maybe frozen fruits and such. But what if you took out that package of ground beef? What if you took out that slab of pork ribs? How much is that? What if you took out and not make the major part of your meal the meat, and make the major part of your meal the vegetables? Then you might see a balance. And I tell a lot of people also, think about it this way. Your body is worth money. If it means, not getting the nails done or something to take care of your body, because you're going to either pay for it now or pay for it later. Because what's the cost of that? I was paying $75 for a prescription. So now, what's the cost of a bottle of apple cider vinegar compared to a bottle of, now it's like, do you want to Not,
Pay for it either way.
yeah, pay now or pay later.
Yeah. Oh, I get you, because I know I'm right here. When I go vegetable, like I do all the produce first. I'll get all the vegetables, like the bell peppers, the lettuce, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, and I'll get all of that stuff first. And all of the stuff I get may last us for about a good week and a half, and that may be about $50. It may all come to $50, and then I have to add the meat, and it boosts it up to like $100. Because I try to find inexpensive, but at the same time, you can't go too inexpensive with meat, because then you're just getting crap.
Yeah.
So it's like I try to find the good quality meat on top of not spending too much, and I'm still find myself buying $7, $8, $10 worth of meat. That's just one dinner. That's just one meal. It may have a couple pieces left over for lunch the next day if you have a smaller family, but if you have a bigger family, that's one meal, and it already cost you about probably $20-$25, meat being half of the price that you paid. So I completely get what you're saying, as far as because I'm a vegetarian. Before I met them, buying food for me was inexpensive, like it really was. And then when I went out to eat and I had to find vegetable plates, they were still inexpensive. Where somebody paying $10 for a meal, I'm paying like $5 or something.
But even with that, and there is, synthetic vegetables. There's synthetic, it's not just the chemicals they pump into the meats. They pump chemicals to make the apples redder and bigger. Like you were saying, the banana is more yellow. They genetically modify the fruit to be more colorful and more lush looking. So you really have to go to like the central markets, farmers market and get the organic stuff. Or do you just do the vegetables and it doesn't matter where it comes from?
No, it does matter, because like I said, when she was talking about the size of the apple and the dullness of that apple compared to the big giant shiny apple, that we know that there's wax on it. Before cancer, I look at that shiny apple, I'm thinking, oh, this one's better than that one, because that one's all dull and this one's all big and shiny, so I'm going to get the big and shiny one. Mm-hmm. And so if I was thinking that way, how many other people?
Everyone thinks that's the way. That's why they make them that way, right?
Yeah.
They pump them full of chemicals. This one looks
healthy, so it's healthier.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. One thing that they do intentionally is they modify the chemicals they put, in the vegetables to make the vegetables more green and the fruit more colorful. It's supposed to be yellow to make the yellow yellower and the red redder. To make it more appealing.
For me, it tastes different. Like if you started to even step in the way of eating healthier and your taste buds change, it tastes so different to me now. If I get a nice shiny apple and you eat it, I taste nothing but chemical. Like I can't eat it the same. It just doesn't taste the same. And the lemon. When she was talking about the lemon, my grandmother and my mother make their icing on their pound cakes with lemon juice from an actual lemon. It tastes so much better. Like just the freshness and of that lemon, it just you taste the freshness in that cake compared to a vanilla extract. It don't taste the same. It just doesn't.
And you have to remember those things. Some of like vanilla extract. I had a friend of mine that bought some from the dollar store, and I said, "Let's look at the ingredients." And we're reading stuff, names we cannot pronounce. And I said, "You can pronounce this one." I said, "What?" Ethanol. I said, "Now go to the gas pump and see what it says on there." I said, "They put the same thing in this vanilla extract that they're using to put in our cars." See, we never know, with the artificial things that we get. And once you begin to research different recipes and different things that are so good, foods that I've never heard of. Jackfruit, I ain't know what I used to see this big old giant thing in the store and like, what in the world is that?
Mm-hmm. I've been wanting to try
a jackfruit. So if I can give you what they call a pulled pork sandwich, and and it tastes, I mean, with the barbecue sauce and all the, you know, and you bite in it and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I don't usually eat pork, but this sandwich was good. And then as you finish it, I said, that was fruit. Mm-hmm. If I can make these brownies, this soul, because to satisfy your sweet tooth, and give you a sample, and you're like, oh my gosh, these brownies are so good. I'm like, they're flourless. They're made with black beans. See,
Or avocados.
Avocado, cauliflower pizza. Because of the names, we like, ugh. But that's why I said, if I give it to you first, you eat it, then I tell you after, you're like, you're kidding me. You know, again, with the expensive meat, I made the other day, a friend of mine gave me a recipe for sweet potato tacos. Now that don't sound good. So I'll just say a taco. So you get your fresh black beans and make them and put them there. You season those sweet potatoes with the same seasoning that you would season your ground beef or ground turkey or whatever, and put those things in that taco. And when you put your fresh lettuce and your avocado and you eat that, you don't miss the meat. You really don't. I'm not a vegetarian, but I do alternative foods. Yeah. Borderline vegetarian, I guess. There's a lot of things I don't eat.
It's closer to vegetarian.
So there's so many. Those are the things that we do. Like I said, when I went through this whole process, a finished work ministry was birthed. It was called a finished work because of what Jesus said. He said, "It is finished. It is finished." What is finished? He said, "By the stripes of Jesus, you are healed." So it's already done. So he's already told us we are healed. Now we need to learn how to maintain. You are the healed. Now you need to learn how to protect your health. So a finished work ministry saying it's already done. If we've fallen into situations, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, yes, lay it in the hands, pray. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. But then I also believe in the principles of the word and common law. So if you come to me in January, we deal with your high blood pressure, your heart disease, and God heals you by the laying on the hands or however he chooses to heal you. And then you come back to me in March asking for the same prayer request. Then I'm not going to pray for the heart disease. I'm going to pray for a renewal of your mind, because whatever you were doing to get you in that situation back in January, you're still doing it. So we don't need to so much pray for the disease, but there needs to be a change. We need to find the root cause. And there needs to be some repentance. We need to turn away from whatever it was that caused that heart disease. We need to turn away from whatever caused that diabetes. We need to turn away from it, because I can pray, you're healed, and instantly, and you go back, then you'll find yourself in the same condition or worse. It's in the word.
Now, what's the name of the ministry again?
It's finished work.
Finished work. Now, I want you to look at that camera right there. Cameraman is still recording. We're still good. All right, look at that camera right there and tell people how to get in contact with Finished Work Ministries and how they contact you for meal plans, meal prep, diet plans. So tell the people why they should use Finished Work and how they get in contact with it.
Okay, a Finished Work Wellness Ministry. You can email me at fitforhim@gmail.com. I'm sorry, not Fit for Him. That's another. It's a Finish Well for Him. Finish Well, the number 4 for Him @gmail.com. Finish Well, the number 4 Him @gmail.com. You can contact me at my business line is 210-724-1440. We have meetings once a month. They're going to commence again once the summer, as we stopped it for a while. I call it HAT. It's a Health Accountability Team. And basically, we meet at my church, which is Compassion. Let me make that plug too.
Don't plug it. Go ahead.
Compassion Church at 2862 Thousand Oaks. My pastor is Adrian Compton. I love them over there. The name speaks for itself. Compassion. They do a lot of outreach. That's what drew me to the ministry, because they go out in the street and they feed the homeless over at the drink center. They connected with Thrive Well Ministry, where they do that every Saturday. Someone is out there with clothes and food and the word and baptism. They even have a baptismal food that they take and all that. Those are some of the things we do. We meet on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. on Sundays, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. But yes, at Compassion, once a month, starting after the summer, we have what we call a Health Accountability Team. And what the Health Accountability Team does, we meet together and do this type of talk. Those who are going through different things, recipes, remedies that you tried that worked, meal plans, we come together and we talk and we support one another and hold them accountable, because transitioning, it wasn't easy. Transitioning to a new lifestyle of eating, it's a challenge. It could even be scary if, especially if you're trying to walk away from traditional medicine for a sickness. When people come to me who are going through this battle with cancer or been through it, they come and say, well, should I stop killing? I don't advise anyone to stop doing what they're doing, because it takes faith and belief. If I give you a Tylenol and you believe it's going to take away your headache, then it's going to be more effective. But if I give you some apple cider vinegar and I say this will get rid of some peppermint, because I get rid of the headache. I give you some peppermint and you're not sure, you're reluctant, and you're kind of doubting, then the effectiveness is not going to be as great as that Tylenol, because your belief is different.
It's almost like your body's rejecting it because you're not believing.
Yeah. So it's more than just, oh, let me do what you did. That's a process. It's a process. Mm-hmm. And it takes a different way of thinking, a renewing of the mind, and repentance. I have to repent for a lot of the things that I've learned. I had to purge and re-download different way of thinking, the way we were programmed, the way we were taught. When people go in the store, I tell them, when you go in the store and you're trying to get to the pharmacy, you probably go to the left. That's man's pharmacy. Go to the right. Go to God's pharmacy. Mm-hmm. But it's a process.
And I also, when you were saying people being fearful, I also think about people that have put food in the place of their emotions, and as their pleasure, their medicine is food, and so they obsessively eat, or they just eat more sugar, or I can say for me, I like sweets. I like sweets a lot, and I know I need to stop eating sweets, but I like sweets. Homemade sweets preferably, but I like sweets, and so and I can see sometimes if I'm in my feelings or something, I may be looking for something sweet, but that's what's been programmed with, like, throughout my life. I've always went to sweets. So now I've been praying. Like, I have two ladies I pray with every morning, and we've been really trying to help each other, basically be accountable, mentally changing our thought process. If sweets come on my mind, what is something else I can put in place of those sweets? Really just, like you said, deprogramming my mind to say, no, you don't need sweets. You don't need them. It's not good for you.
And programming to get something naturally sweet, like a piece of watermelon, a piece of fruit. We've been programmed that, I have diabetes, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Okay, let's go back to what the word say. I've given you every tree on the fruit. So it's how much. Everything's in moderation. So when someone who has diabetes say, no, I can't eat watermelon, I can't eat this, I can't eat this because it has too much sugar. I said, but yet you can put this man-made medication in your body that the body now doesn't know what to do with it. Because I sit and wonder, what does your feet have to do with your pancreas? What do you mean? Why do most people who have diabetes end up getting feet and toes cut off? What does it have to do? Well, what's happening, this foreign medication, which God prepared our body to naturally produce insulin, now we're putting some man-made insulin in our bodies, and our bodies is like, stop the press. I don't know what to do with this. Now, it's been mimicked to do what it's supposed to do, the synthetic, the fake medicine. So it goes in there and it addresses the symptom, but what's the root of the problem? And so now these chemicals are going in our body. It fixes the blood sugar level, but now the liver's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to process this. It's foreign to me. What do I do? So I'm being funny. He talks to the other systems in the body, like, listen, I don't know what this foreign product is, but all we're supposed to do when something dangerous comes is to protect the heart. So send whatever it is far as you can away from the heart. So gravity takes this medicine and it sends it in the blood system and it takes it to the furthest extremities, our hands and our feet. So now all this acid, when the liver, it sends it to the feet because it doesn't want it to get here, so it sends it there. So that's when it starts getting thick down there. Circulation starts getting poor. Feet start turning blue. Toes start turning black. The next thing you know, you have poor circulation.
Half of the legs is cutting
You need
off.
to cut your toe off. Oh, it's still not circulating. You need to cut your foot off. We thought that would do it. But why? Why is the cut getting higher and higher? Because we're still treating a symptom with the insulin that's causing the problem.
Awesome. Michelle Adams, ladies and gentlemen, Finished Work Ministries. Make sure you check her out and see if there's a natural solution. Don't throw away all your pill bottles yet.
No.
We don't want to be reading your obituary, but definitely get with her on healthier alternatives, healthy lifestyle and eating choices. Eating healthy can't hurt you. It can only help you. So, guys, we're moving from Facebook to YouTube. We'll be transitioning everything over in the next probably month or so. So make sure you check us out. Make sure that you pay attention to the links. Facebook we'll primarily use to just put out information about us, but the videos,
previews,
a little previews, but the videos, we're going to migrate our videos to YouTube. Also check out over the soon to be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks, some new YouTube channels we're creating.
Yes.
One is called Woke. It's going to be me just kind of POV into the camera, talking about some of the things that plague spiritually, some of the things I just don't like, and that about the way we work in operation to the church, and not something bashing churches or anything like that. I believe we should always lift each other up, but attacking more so our Christian mindsets. Remember, our minds control everything. So to change the world, we must first change our mind. That's what Woke is going to be about. Look for a show I Did Not Know That. We're just going to talk about things you may not have known. My wife has worked on some awesome graphics for that. So when you see that, that is my wife's work. She's going to have kind of a Women Wednesday show come in where she just talks about women and addressing women's issues in the form of godliness. So she's a godly woman. She's a great wife, great mother. So I believe she's a great example for women that are looking to get married, women that want to know how to live in a world that's over-sexualized, a world that is looking at women as objects, a world that would prefer a woman in a bikini leaning up against a Lamborghini than in a courtroom as a lawyer. So how do you be holy and still be relevant in this type of world? And my wife can help you on that with Women Wednesdays. Also look for Manhood Mondays, where I kind of talk about man stuff, but from a spiritual perspective. So a lot of very, very interesting things happening. A lot of new shows coming to YouTube. We're transferring it all to YouTube because we just kind of feel like it's a better platform for us. And secretly, we don't trust Facebook anymore. No, just kidding. Not maybe. But we transferred everything to YouTube.
This one is still going.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
Well,
like us on YouTube. Love us on YouTube. And
like
subscribe
us,
to our
yeah.
channels.
I said like and love and share if this one is still on Facebook. But if it's on YouTube, please please subscribe, hit the notification button or the alert button. I think that's what it's called on YouTube. Anyway, so you can get notifications every time we're about to post something, and you can come watch it with us and just join the fam. Join the YouTube fam.
All right. Love you guys. Peace. Hey guys, if you know anyone you believe would be great for this show, whether it's a senior pastor, whether it's a senator, a congressman, anyone from, if you know Greg Brockhouse, or if you know Donald Trump or Barack Obama, or if you know, anyone, Stephen Furtick, it doesn't matter. Or if you know Bob from around the corner who likes making paper mache hats and you think he'd be a good fit for the show. Just let them know
this is a biblical-based show. So we're coming straight from the Bible with everything that we tell the people.
Okay. So if you know someone you think would be a good fit, or you think you may be a good fit, hit us up, DM us, or give us a email at wordtoday.org@gmail.com. We check that about once a year, so that'll be a good way to get in contact with us. No, I'm just kidding. Word Today, we do need to check it. wordtoday.org@gmail.com.
Or our new work number, 210-8.
Yeah, wordtoday.org@gmail.com. All right, guys. Peace.